Welcome to the Pack, your gateway to the world of Patricia Briggs and the Mercyverse, where shifters, vamps, and fae rule. Magic hums just beneath the surface, and danger is always one heartbeat away. Now, let's run with the Pack. Here are your hosts.
Welcome back to the Pack Podcast, the December 2025 episode. Yeah, this is episode 5 already.
Yeah, Mercy Christmas, everyone.
Mercy Christmas.
Mercy Christmas.
Say hi, Hasna.
Hi, Hasna.
Say hi, Linda.
Oh, hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
I was going to say hi, Hasna.
Hi, Hasna.
It's becoming a thing now.
I'd be Greg. Yeah, it's kind of a thing now, isn't it? Yeah. Welcome back to the Pack Podcasts. We have been discussing a lot of different things in the background here lately, and we wanted to take a minute on the podcast to, first off, wish everybody the whatever holiday it is that you're celebrating at this time of year. Let you know that if you don't have your Christmas present yet, your Yule present, your whatever it is present, that a Patty Briggs signed book is a great gift. Wouldn't you guys say that?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I have many. Yes, I agree.
Were they gifts, or did you just go out and get them?
Actually,
Both.
Both?
I
Okay.
attended several signings when she was in London, and I received a few books signed as well. So, yeah.
My son knew that I had a thing about Jim Butcher, and so I wound up getting a lot of signed copies of books of Butcher's. I've never met Jim before, but it was always easy to get Patty's books because she's right here. So, but yeah, there you go. If you're looking for a great gift idea, get out there and pick up a copy of the latest book, which is actually doing quite well, if I remember right. Blind Date with a Werewolf?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was just going to say real quick, that's so funny.
Yep.
So I was just going to say that if you do want a signed copy of one of Patty's books, you can go to our website, www.patriciabriggs.com, and on the... let me see here. Let me not
Bring
cancel
this up.
here.
Okay, yeah. Let's just jump on. Yeah.
You can send your books if you're in close to the area, but you can't get to a signing. You can mail your books to Patty, and she will sign them for you.
And personalize them as well.
Personalize them and send them back to you. You just have to send return postage with your book and let her know what you would like signed in it. She'll, pretty generously sign anything you want. Yeah,
also,
so there's...
Yeah, and also the sites like the Signed Page, Adventures Underground, and all of the bookstores that she attended with the book signings, they will ship wherever. I think most to the US and maybe internationally, but that's going to be a bit pricey. But
yeah, but you can go to the contact page, and sometimes as well, I think Patty, they have some extra book plates that if you're international and it's too expensive to send your book, they'll sign the book plate for you.
Then that's
Patty will
always
sign it.
That's always a nice thing to do. And one thing that fascinated me was a number of years back, I wound up picking up I don't remember what book it was, which one it was, but it was a signed book, and Patty had signed it to someone else, and I don't remember who it was, and they'd thrown it into a used book sale, and I wound up picking this thing up. And I
think it was a Dungeon Carl Books thing.
Well, no, this was one of Patty's books that she had signed to someone else, and I took it to her, and she reworked it somehow magically so that it's now signed to me. And she just does some
clever.
magic things.
Yeah.
Very, very clever. Something about having. I'll have to get out of my library and find that. But yeah, it's very, very clever way of getting around that. I wanted to give you guys. This is dumb, but it just stuck in my head last night as I was making some notes about the show. What do you get if you combine a vampire and a dog? This is my joke. This is my joke of the month. Okay,
this is dad joke.
Yeah, this is my joke of the month. What do you get when you combine a vampire and a dog?
I don't know.
Yeah, hit us with it, man.
All right,
Yep.
a bloodhound.
Oh,
And I should have that.
pardon me. You might have to censor that part.
Might have to,
That's-
yeah, it's all right. I
That's
missed it.
usually me.
I missed it as
Yeah.
usual. So, hey, by the way, before we get into the meat and potatoes here, check out our Patreon. We have a lot of people that have been jumping into Patreon, and I want to give a quick shout out to a bunch of folks. And let me see if I can find my list here. Juliette Reboulet, Kat, Rachel Spirko, Elena, Jordan, Amy, Jenny May, Heather McCrory, Jordan, Juliet Jordan, Kendra Seymour, Lynn Hammer. Who else do we have? Martini, Thomas Jefferson Perryman IV. I love that. TB or Tibby. Would that be Tibisana? Something like that. Lynn Look, Maria, Angela Branda Coons, and Sari or Sari. I don't know which way to pronounce that. So, hey, welcome to all those folks that have joined Patreon and the different levels there. There's the Wolf Pack, there's Wolf Pup, there's the Walker, there's the Pack Member, and the Alpha. And we have something coming up. We're doing a
Yeah, we'll have
thing?
had our winner and have them their prize pack sent to them already by the time this podcast
By
is
the
aired.
time this, and we haven't actually done the drawing yet, but we will do the drawing, and we'll announce that all on the January podcast, right?
Which is awesome, by the way.
Which is awesome.
It is awesome.
All right. We love awesome. We love awesome. Guys, I wanted to talk about Mercy because Mercy is where all this came from, and I know you guys probably have a lot of fun things to say about Mercy, our little Mercy here. Mercedes Athena Thompson.
Houtman.
No, she's not Hauptman yet when we start,
Okay.
but she's going to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for those people that haven't read that far yet.
To the surprise of everyone.
Spoilers. Yes. Hasna, give me your impression of Mercy.
Well, I love her character in terms that she's independent, determined, stubborn. I love her sense of humor. I love how she just wells people up and gets under their skin. And she always turns out to be on top of things, even though like chaos and mayhem happens around her. She always ends up having not the last laugh, but she ends up like getting the better of her antagonists. And she just leapt out of the page. And I like the fact that she was underpowered, and so she had to use her wits, her luck, because sometimes it's luck as well, and also the fact that things never turn out the way you think they'll turn out. So it's really unexpected, and that I like that in the book. Where things surprises me.
Linda?
Don't want things to be predictable.
Yeah.
I think that, like looking back, realizing, how much Coyote is an influence in her life, that looking back on her childhood, I think, she's looked on it a bit harshly, trying to kind of like just the antagonism between her and a lot of the werewolves. But she's just such an agent of chaos, and I think she's more accepting of that. And I think looking back, like for herself, as she does that just how chaotic her childhood was, I think it's just a lot more accepting of, and I think looking on it more kindly. And I think maybe the werewolves will look on that more kindly, knowing just how much Coyote influences her, not maybe her personality, but how she's dealing with certain situations.
She shakes things up. Like, they have to be Otherwise, like the thing about the werewolves, they stagnate after a while. They just like to keep on doing the same things. They're not going to survive. And Bran knew that when it became pretty obvious that they had to go public, and if they didn't do that, it would end up really, really badly for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, in some ways, it's like what she's doing now in terms of like, you know, creating allies with the Fae and the vampires in the Tri-City. That's shaking things up, because there were basically factions that were at each other's throats, basically, and you need that to basically to survive, because it's becoming pretty obvious that the humans aren't seeing the supernatural factions as friendlies, and they're becoming more and more antagonistic towards them. So in some ways, like Linda said, she's an agent of chaos, but throughout that chaos becomes order. So sometimes chaos may not be a bad thing, because her intentions at heart is to basically to protect the people that she loves, but also to protect the innocent. She doesn't want to see that fallout with when things blow up. She doesn't want to see that happening with repercussions with that.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting how she's studied to be a history teacher, but never was.
And that doesn't come up a lot, but every once in a while it raises its head.
Right, and she really found her home, like, in the garage. It's
and it's not just and she also studies like the supernatural beings as well. Like she with the book she studied the Fae book with the different types of Fae, and she basically knows how the werewolf society is structured, and she's also getting first-hand knowledge via Stefan and Marsilio with the vampires. So she's becoming an expert in her own right, and she's using that to help her pack and the people around her.
You know, Linda, you mentioned the relationship with Coyote, and I find this really fascinating. I was an adopted kid, and growing up, I didn't know my natural mom. Still don't know who my father was, and that's probably a good thing at this point. But later years, I wound up meeting my natural mom and realizing, that I had this whole other family that I've gotten to know over the years. What fascinates me is Mercy has this anger, this issue with Coyote about, different things. And yet, at the same time, she doesn't realize she's basically, in a lot of ways, just like him. And that was the fascinating part for me, is that I realized all of a sudden that I am, in a lot of ways, just like my natural mom without even being around her at all. So that was a fascinating thing. And I think over the time, she's still angry about a lot of things. She carries this anger, over the way that Coyote pops in and out and makes her do things. But at the same time, she is so much like him in a lot of ways, in my humble opinion. Now, you guys tell me I'm wrong, okay?
I kind of disagree in some aspects, because I think she's got Coyote's nature. Like, she's got that sense of humor. She plays pranks, and she uses those pranks as a way to get back at people, because like she can't like challenge a werewolf, but she'll play a prank just to humiliate them in a way. Like with the shoe thing, there's a scene in one of the books where she nicks Leah's shoes, and then in a following Christmas she goes and finds them at the bottom of the lake and then puts them up on the Christmas tree, and it's really, really funny. But in a way, she knows how to rile people up, but only if they deserve it. With Coyote, I don't think he really cares about who he riles up half the time, and although he sets his kids off to do these like missions and stuff to sort things out, he doesn't really care about the fallout because he's not human. You got to remember, she is, but she has like a coyote sense of humor. She's a prankster. She's a joker at heart, but only if you deserve it.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. But at the same time, she has those some of those aspects and traits that she has changed to herself.
Yeah, and also she won't abandon people that she loves as well.
Yeah, well,
I think, we talk about Coyote, but, do we talk about her actual mother who, abandoned her? And really, she did abandon her to, the werewolves. I mean, how much is Mercy like, is it Margie?
Margie, yeah.
Yeah, I always have an issue pronouncing her name.
Yeah.
But she has that relationship with her mother and with her half-sisters and her stepfather in a bit, but it's very closed off. It's very much in a box where she has them off to the side where they're not really part of her life.
I think it's a self-defense mechanism as well. It's like, I'm not going to be close to you because if I get too close, I'll get hurt. And that's something that she's working on right now. That's why it took a long time for her to get close to Adam. And
well, I mean, how devastating is it when you're a 16-year-old girl who's, just heartache and have to go to your mother, and you find out that your sisters don't even know that you exist, and neither does your stepfather, because your mother never even mentioned you.
I kind of like giving Margie some slack because she was basically a teen mum, but then she kept her like as a dirty secret, and I think that's more of an issue than the fact that she gave her up, because I can understand how is she going to deal with a shape-shifting child that that could talk to dead people. She was probably better off with Werewolf Pack, but then also add the fact that Bran abandoned her. She later found out that Samuel only wanted to use her in terms of her bearing his kids. So and also the suicide of her foster parents, foster father, and the death of her foster mother. That has a big.
Poor Mercy.
I know.
She's got some issues.
Yeah.
Well, but it's interesting as you say all these things, because I was that kid. I was the dirty little secret that wound up, getting brought up. So I have this love, for Mercy because of these things that, she's had to deal with, still has to deal with as she goes through. Hasna, you said something about being underpowered, and I wanted to talk about the shape-shifting. I mean, Coyote, we used to, when I grew up in the Midwest, I never did because I was not a hunter, but that was, that people would go out and do, we called them coyotes back then as opposed to coyotes, but, they would go out and do coyote hunts. And, they were the mangy looking little dog kind of things that people would chase after. I mean, you talked about being underpower as, something you turn into. I've never asked Patty that question. Why did you choose this type of creature? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I think I remember her saying that because they're so common around where she lived. She decided, I think, to make Mercy into a shape-shifting coyote. So I think that was... But it also, they're sneaky, they're wily, and they're survivors. In some ways, they're like the foxes in the UK. Like, there are fox hunts to this day, which is absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
And they're hunted, and that it got to a point where they're now living in the cities. You can hear them, like, in the rooftops, or, their mating calls, like 3 o'clock in the morning. Have you ever heard of a fox mating calls?
I actually have, yes.
Yeah. It sounds like someone's been murdered, but it's not nice. But they're survivors, and that's what she is. So it's symbolic of the person that she is, because she's scrappy, she's wily, and she's a survivor, and she's survived worse things than a lot of things have thrown at her. So I think it is actually fitting, because if you're underpowered, you're underestimated, and that is the cause of the fall of a lot of her enemies over the series of the books, because they always think that she's not that powerful, therefore we can easily, kill her. But she always comes out on top. Yeah,
she always does. Other things that I know you guys know these things, but she tends to be immune to a lot of magical manipulations. She has
always,
not always, no, but magic works differently around Mercy than it does anybody else. And I think one of you mentioned too the fact that she sees ghosts, and that's a unique ability, because there's a lot of people in this world that do, and there's a lot more that don't. I think the idea of the magic working differently, that's a cool notion.
It is, and I think that when we first see that in Iron Kist, like really see it when she's able to go to Underhill, to not expecting to go there, but just to accidentally access it there. It's interesting to see how things react around her and how she's able to navigate around it.
I keep waiting for Hasna to drop.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was like,
it's my turn.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop here, okay?
Yeah, it's also another thing about with the ghosts. She can suss out who is the killer with the scent, because her ability with scenting things it's very sensitive compared to the werewolves and other supernatural beings. So that's a very useful trait. And also, I like the fact that it's passive power in a lot of ways, where those skills are more useful than just like, I can smite you with this with fire or lightning or whatever, because it's a subtleness that that helps a lot, because if you don't get those subtle clues or what's the truth, then it's not easy to find out the cause of the issue in the books.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point that with that passive power, how it was never really like locked in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you see how it's developed throughout the series, how she's developed her power but has not really injected anything into it. It's just more learning more about herself, but not really, it's always been there. It's always, the possibility. Yeah.
It's and I like the fact that it's slowly evolving. Throughout the series, like I think it's Soul Taken, where they're investigating those slasher kills. She was the key to finding the key evidence of who was behind it. If it wasn't for her, they would not been able to find out. And then the Soul Taken would probably achieve victory, because it covered its tracks. So I do like the fact it's so passive. People, again, her enemies and the people around her continually underestimate her, and that's a good thing, because if you underestimate someone, when you surprise them, it basically becomes like a really cute twist. So it does.
Yeah. But one other aspect I want to talk about briefly here before we wrap up for the day, though, is Mercy Thompson Hauptmann as a baker. For whatever reason, and I love it, my wife is a baker. She loves to bake. I bake bread. I like doing that. Mercy, Patty, they're always talking about the cookies, the muffins, the pies, and
the spud nuts. Well, they don't make spud nuts. She buys them.
Yeah, you don't make spud nuts.
Yeah. For those who don't know what spud nuts are, they're like they are the infamous donuts made out of potato in the Tri-Cities.
I've had them. They're awesome. They're not vegan, so I don't have them any longer. I keep waiting for them to come out with their vegan variety, but Is there an actual? I believe I know the answer to this, but is there an actual chocolate chip cookie recipe floating around out there that is supposedly Mercy's recipe?
I think.
Well, the group did a cookbook on the fan page, a PDF that people can download where they've kind of collected recipes like spicy hot chocolate and like the orange scented brownies and so things like that. So
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think we posted the orange brownies on her Instagram and on the Facebook as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we might post a link to that on the podcast blog for people so they can download it and
we'll do
bake
especially this time of season, when it's everybody's doing all the different kind of baking kind of things. But I find that as an interesting aspect that you don't find in other characters from other books. That it's a little side that makes her very human.
I can think of several characters. Like
Can you?
Ilona Andrews, Kate Daniels.
Yeah.
I mean, she even makes her own sausages. There's something from a scene, which is really funny.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on what books you're reading, right?
Yeah,
there's still there's a lot of bakers and cooks.
The apple pie and also food is very important in that series. So, like the food in the Mercy Thompson series, again, that's important as well. And I think Jennifer Eastep's the Assassin series as well. Yeah.
So one thing with food, and I always think that it's an interesting point to bring up, is how the werewolves see food as where he angered Mercy and he's like apologizing with a dead bunny. He's like, "I'm sorry, I love you.
Exactly.
Here's a dead bunny."
Yeah.
But we see with his ex-wife and how she's kind of weaponized her cooking ability, where I don't think that she came from a place of love, but I think the werewolves mistakenly accepted it as that. I've always thought that.
She used it as a weapon.
Yeah.
It's
Christy, my God, yes.
Yeah. She used it as a weapon because she, like Mercy, she's not basically powered. She's not got any supernatural abilities. So her one weapon is food. And she knows how to wield it, and to the werewolves, it's like, oh, she's caring for us, so it's like, oh, like we need to protect her. She's helpless. But it was so obvious. It was like she was doing it. Like, I'm going to take over your kitchen. I'm going to take over my old home. That's your home, and I am going to undermine you to the pack, to Adam, to show that I'm basically a superior person to you because I have loads of insecurity and I'm a raging narcissist. So that's
tell us how you really feel, Hasna.
Well, I think that loads of people would agree with me that she's a raging narc. So yeah, and with Mercy, again, food. She provides care, but she doesn't wield it as a weapon. It's like when she offered the plate of cookies after Adam splits up with Christy. That's like, here, this is like a little treat for you to cheer you up. I know you're like on your lowest of the low, and she didn't have to do that, but she did, and she provides that as a bonding thing as well with the werewolves, and also for her is stress relief.
It definitely comes as from a place of love, like sharing with Jesse, sharing with Adam, sharing with the werewolves.
Yeah.
So
it's sharing a piece of her. That's what it is. It's like, I'm not, because she's not an overtly affectionate person, but she does it with food. It's also, I think it's part of the animal instinct as well. Like that scene with the rabbit. It's the same thing with her. It's like, here, I'm going to care for you. This is like food to provide comfort and joy, and it's also as a way to basically, like, almost like a bargain. There's another scene with Tilly where to get something from her, she actually offered her a dessert that was made from her own hands. So food is very important and symbolic in the series. It's not just like, oh, I'm playing a housewife. That is Christie's territory. This is more. This is about power dynamics in a lot of ways, and also as a way to provide care and nurturing for her family, and her family is the pack now.
I don't know about you two, but I'm hungry for cookies at this point.
I've got some mince pies.
We'll talk about that, okay? We'll talk about that. All right, it's Mercy is such a deep, deep character. I mean, and we're done on our time here for the day, and we've barely scratched the surface of talking about her strengths, her vulnerabilities, her growth through the series, and some of the other fun aspects of her, and being sort of the daughter of Bran, the Moroccan, all those bits and pieces that I tell you what, we'll open this up over on the Discord page and let people have at. And by the way, thanks for everybody that have jumped into the Discord page.
Oh yeah, that was so fun. Yeah,
it is so fun to chat with folks over there, and you can do that too. Here's the commercial part. You can do that too if you join our Patreon page. Be sure and jump over and talk about that. And is that it, guys? Did we do it?
Yeah, I think. Yep. Other than there's 2 extra signings in the Tri-Cities. We need to mention that.
It's December the 7th and December the 13th.
Okay. So
Adventures Underground, the first one, and Barnes & Noble, the second. So, yeah.
Okay. So one of them is happening as this drops, and one will happen later on in the month. So, all right. So if you're wanting to meet Patty here in the Tri-Cities, be sure and drop on by, and we would love to be able to say hi to you. I'll probably be popping into those signings as well to be able to say hi to folks. So, hey guys, I wish you both the very happiest of holidays, however you celebrate, and I hope that your new year is awesome as always and filled with as much mercy as possible.
Likewise, and I hope everyone has a fantastic holiday and Happy New Year.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. The same, everybody. Happy holidays.
Linda's busy back there trying to get her mug of good cheer, I think is what it is.
A little.
All right, everybody. Have yourself a fantastic holiday, and we will be checking back with you in the brand new year, all right?
All the best to you, everyone.
All right.
The shadows are stirring, and our time together has drawn to a close, at least for now. But the pack is never far away. When the moon rises again, we'll be here waiting. Thanks for running with the pack. The Pack Podcast is a Grail Productions show. Copyright 2025, Hearog Incorporated. All rights reserved.